Welcome to Farmers Inside Track, South Africa's most downloaded farmers podcast. I am Patricia Timbo, specialist journalist at Food Forum Zanzi. Today we're looking at a 6.5 million rand investment that's set to change the way our food systems work. Nedbank has launched a compelling agriculture and enterprise development program as part of its transformation agenda. The program aims to finance and support the next generation of food producers for South Africa. My colleague, Ivor Price, sat down with Dr. Nirmala Reddy, strategy specialist for enterprise and supplier development at Nedbank, to unpack this vision.
Dr. Reddy, thanks for joining us in Farmers Inside Track. What inspired Nedbank to back the Green Agripreneur program and the Subtrop Farmers with such significant investments?
Yes, Ivor, perhaps it makes sense to just take a step back before I answer that question. I think it's not rocket science when you consider the impact of nurturing and growing the agricultural sector for any country. The impact directly, indirectly on the economic, the social, environmental, and many other facets of society is so huge. So I think transformation within the agricultural sector is key for Nedbank. It's the reason why we put a lot of focus and a lot of effort within the space. So I think coming back to Subtrop and the African Greeneurs program, both the programs directly showed merits in terms of the impact that it was going to actually yield when it comes to specific sectors. So the African Greeneurs program is a program essentially that extends across young men and women, all in their 20s, coming from different sectors, and some of them are in IT, some of them qualified as teachers, but each of them felt the need to come in and learn about agriculture, learn farming, with the innate inspiration that they want to go back to their towns, their villages, their communities where they stem from, and go and plant and start to create change and be facilitators with change, and to also basically create a legacy of their own. So the program itself touches many of the key points, as we know, the massive unemployment issue, trying to get mindsets to change. Now, these young men and women are literally no longer job seekers. They're now literally creating their own businesses within the agricultural space. So the program itself extended to 20 men and women, and it's 3 months in the classroom, and the rest of the 9 months, it's 1 year program, 9 months out on the field. And what excited us about the program is that it looked at the practical, but end-to-end value chain of what it offers was encompassed. So in other words, the training, the mentorship, the specialist expertise, and included in that was the fact that the organization was going to support them in accessing land as well as offtakes in terms of market access. So that full end-to-end really speaks to some of the key things that as farmers we struggle with. The other program was the Subtrop Farmers. There it was a combination of men and women as well. Basically, they are successful farmers, but really needing that step up in terms of getting accreditation to be able to enter into global markets. So there as well, it's a very different kind of support, but very much needed, because instead of the price that they command as basically aggregating their crops, now they're able to take it out themselves, out into the global markets and be able to sell at a rate and actually start to create legacies and start to really amass in terms of their track record, in terms of what they're doing, the expansion. These are the kind of things that we need to do to uplift and provide that enabling environment for our farmers.
It's absolutely incredible to hear you talking about creating legacies and creating an environment where the Subtrop farmers can create legacies. In the essence, we're dealing with a transformation of food systems here. What's your take in the South African context of transforming food systems? How do you understand that?
When you talk about transforming the food system, it's really about empowering, supporting, providing the necessary systems, not necessarily in the typical agricultural context either. We're talking about when you look at transforming, you have to take a step back once again and look at the holistic arena. So it taps in on the training, the support to the farmer itself, but it also goes back to looking at the broader macro environment. So we're talking about the value chain itself. We're talking about the different components that the farmer would have to engage with and the key dependencies, the key drivers. We're not able to solve for them. And that's usually the reason for many a farmer and a business at large for struggle and often failure, because you're just unable to reach out and to sort of capture the full value chain so that when something goes wrong, everybody's almost solving for the end result, which is for the success of every single one along the value chain. So I think what we do well is that we actually use that collaborative approach, that aspect of value chain where everybody comes together, we do what we each have to do, and collectively we all have win at the end of the day. I think that for me is about true transformation.
I can imagine that this is quite a sought after program, and I'm wondering, in a country where so many people are hungry for game-changing opportunities, how do you select candidates for the program, and what kind of support do they receive?
So it depends on the program itself. For example, with the Subtrop Farmers, they were already existing. They had a need. And in our engagement through the industry body Subtrop, we actually were able to identify this opportunity. And in that case, we came in, understood their needs and supported accordingly. In the case of the African Greeneurs, there you'd find that we, with intention, sat down with the organization and we literally co-created the program. They had the framework in place and we literally supported them in terms of what we as a bank bring to the party. And I think with any program, any incubation program, especially industry-wide, the selection criteria is key. So that is actually probably one of the most important aspects. The criteria itself was very specific in terms of the outcomes or the objectives. And when it comes to the checks and balances, we made sure that we did what we needed to. That is one of the most discerning elements of any program, because when you get that done properly, you, at the end of the day, you know that, anything else that comes up, you're able to manage it. But the attitude of the individual, the attitude, depending on what the key drivers are for the program, are very key. And you basically establish at the point of inception, which is your selection. Overarchingly, one of the nicest things about incubators and training programs is that it provides an end-to-end array of support. So the farmers in this particular program, they got the technical support, they got the theoretical support, they got the benefit of lots of different, like CSIR and many other organizations that came on board to provide the support and expertise. And the thing is, when you have that collectively, you can learn, and depending on your ability to want to move forward, you're able to really leverage that. And you can see from these farmers that they actually are really doing phenomenally well. Even before they were, I think midway, month 6 of the program, they already were harvesting the most incredible tomatoes and peppers and wonderful vegetables. So it's testament of the fact that the setting is correct. It's conducive. And, it's not to say that you don't get challenges. You do. But when you have all the right role players around the table, collectively, you make decisions. So you don't have hold-ups and obstacles. You make the decision and you move on. You adapt, evolve, and keep moving along. So I think that's one of the nice things of being a part of a program of this nature actually offers the farmer.
I'm wondering how you measure impact, and then if there are maybe a success story that you could share that really illustrates the program's impact.
Absolutely. We have many. Keep you here the whole day. The young farmers, that's a great example. So Nedbank supported 20 farmers, 10 of them in Mpumalanga, 10 in Gauteng and surrounding areas. And the exciting thing I mentioned earlier, that the program itself ensures that they get access to land. So by way of purchasing or leasing the land, and further to that, the offtake. So these farmers were very fortunate and blessed. They got the support. They secured the land. I think if you look at them holistically, the 20 farmers, they have access to an offtake with Pick and Pay. And basically that equates to 15 million for a year in terms of market access opportunities, which there's a guarantee that they will take all the vegetables that they grow and harvest. And that's another benefit that comes to the program of this nature, is that, the proactive engagement with the likes of the retailers to be able to understand what their requirements are from a pack house perspective and all the necessary technicalities. So that's done as the entrepreneurs are growing and evolving. It's like a simultaneous endeavor, so that at the end of the day, for the markets are there. So I think that's a wonderful success story, because to be brand new farmers, 15 million offtake in year one, they not only have significant growth, they also sustain the 26 jobs that they've created already. This is just literally starting off. You can just imagine the lengths that they can grow to in terms of all the right players being there to support them. And already this mindset shift that, you've got to aim high and you've got to be strategic, and they've got, of course, the support of the mentors as well. So I think that's a great success story for a program that is actually 1 year. and to have such credible progress in leaps and bounds to come to the point that at the end of 12 months, you're ready to go on your land, you've got your contracts in place, and you're basically now operating as a proper farmer.
Dr. Reddy, if we can look ahead, what is your vision for how the farmers from the two programs will reshape the future of agriculture?
One of the exciting things as well is when Nedbank engages with service providers and partners in any kind of program, we're looking for out-of-box thinking. We're looking at innovative ways in which we do things. I think what's exciting is to see how collectively, whatever challenges have come through, we've discussed it and brainstormed and looked at ways in which we can actually move beyond that. We're looking to the farmers to grow and expand. Each of them have fantastic, wonderful ideas in terms of the specialization that they want to take on board. And it's really exciting to see how motivated each of them are. So I think from individual farmers themselves, we're looking at lots of exciting things coming through in terms of what their focus areas are. These are the farmers we want to see grow, evolve, expand, and operating on the level up there with the best of them. When we look at the program itself and the success factors, we go right back again to the starting point, which is the selection process. And with an entrepreneur, being a businessman or a businesswoman, it's not always about the technical understanding only. It's about that resilience, that ability to, no matter how many times you're going to have obstacles or failures, you're going to pick yourself up and you're going to move forward. And the exciting thing about this program is that there's a lot of those focus on that personal mastery, that ability to look differently at things in terms of keeping your courage and your strength and your resilience and, to keep moving forward, because that's what really separates the boys from the men and the girls from the women, as they say, in terms of just picking yourself up, keep moving along. And when you have wonderful ideas, especially when you are breaking into new territory when it comes to innovation and trying new things, I think you have to understand that it's not always going to go as smoothly as you envisage. And that's where we need these strong characters. So I'm very proud to say that these farmers, they're definitely going to walk their talk, and we're going to track them closely because the space is really a journey. As Nedbank, we pride ourselves on the fact that entrepreneurship is a journey that, as you grow and evolve, you're going to have different needs. Your banking services evolve. We're here by your side. But not only that, beyond that, when you grow and you expand, you need other role players. And I think that's where we also say we're still a part of the picture. How can we help? What can we do differently? And that really is that forward-thinking view, the fact that we're there to support them in the long term. So lots of exciting things to come from them, Ivor. We're looking forward to that.
Dr. Reddy, thanks for the inspiration and thanks for joining us here on Farmers Inside Track.
That was Dr. Nirmala Reddy from Nedbank giving us a glimpse into how the Nedbank ESD program is transforming agriculture and South Africa. You've been listening to Farmers Inside Track, proudly brought to you by Food for Mzansi. I'm Patricia Timbo, and join us again next time as we continue to tell the stories shaping South Africa's farming future.